Hey folks, welcome back to the Stoic journey. I can see it, you're all in right. You're picturing a future with them, making sacrifices, going the extra mile, maybe even setting aside your own dreams, because for you, their happiness comes first. They tell you they love you, yet they're treating you like an afterthought. They forget your words, overlook the plans you've made together, and somehow, despite all that, they still say they care. It's like you're living in a paradox, where their words say one thing, but their actions tell a different story. Have you ever wondered if they truly love you, or if they're just keeping you around because it's convenient? Maybe they're not as invested as you are, or maybe they're just holding on to something that's no longer there. And what if you're trying to attract someone new and they're ignoring you? That sense of being overlooked can feel intense, especially when you're putting in effort to make a genuine connection. But here's the thing, sometimes their distance has nothing to do with your worth, and we are going to discuss everything, so stay with me. Today, we're diving deep into this confusing push-pull, exposing what's really going on beneath the surface. So go ahead. Hit that like button if you're ready to uncover the truth behind their mixed signals and get the clarity you deserve. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to interpret their actions and what steps to take for yourself. Stick around, you won't want to miss it. Why are they ignoring you? This is so, folks, let's get real. If someone genuinely loves you, there might be a few reasons they're pulling back or ignoring you, and I'm about to break down the top 3 in just a moment. But here's the catch. We're not stopping there. We're also diving into the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they're only sticking around because it's convenient or because you're being nice to them. What if one day they decide to walk away? This isn't easy to face, but you have to be prepared for all scenarios. As our Stoic friend Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In relationships, just like in life, it's essential to be ready for both the highs and the lows. We'll cover everything, from why they might truly love you, yet act distant, to the hard truth of whether they're only staying out of comfort. So let's dive in and equip ourselves with the strength and clarity we need to face whatever comes next. But first, let me tell you something. No matter where they stand, the one thing we can control is ourselves, not them. And that's exactly where Stoicism steps in to save us. We're going to break down every angle, and this lesson is something you don't want to miss. So stay tight, because who knows, this insight could be the game changer that helps you reclaim your peace and power. And remember, no matter how hard things get, you have to stand strong. This lesson isn't here to hurt your feelings, it's here to remind you of your strength and resilience. So affirm with me, I stand strong. Drop it in the comments to declare that no matter what happens, you're grounded, unshakable, and committed to valuing yourself above all else. Let this be your reminder that you hold the power to face anything that comes your way. So why are they ignoring you if they truly love you? Let's look at 3 possible reasons. Number 1, they express love differently than you expect. So folks, the first reason why they might ignore you, even if they truly care, comes down to one simple truth. They express love differently than you expect. Love languages vary, and not everyone shows affection in the same way. You might be looking for verbal affirmations, frequent check-ins, or time spent together, but they may express love in a quieter, more subtle way. Maybe for them, love isn't about constant communication, but about showing up when it really matters. Let's consider a classic relationship scenario. You send them a text sharing something important from your day, and hours go by without a response. To you, this might feel like a lack of care, but for them, this is just how they are. They might prefer quality time over constant messages, or find it challenging to open up through words alone. This disconnect can create tension, making you wonder if they truly value you. An example from real online forums shows how common this misunderstanding is. One woman shared her frustration, saying her partner hardly ever texted back. She took this as a sign of fading interest, only to find out that he was someone who preferred in-person conversations. He believed that face-to-face interactions were the most genuine way to connect. By talking it out, she realized that his love language wasn't about texting or frequent updates. Instead, he expressed his feelings through small acts of service, like surprising her with her favorite coffee or fixing things around the house. Think of this as two people speaking different languages. Imagine you're speaking English and they're speaking French without any translations. They may think they're showing love by fixing your car or cooking dinner, but if you're looking for sweet messages or more verbal affection, it can feel like they're distant. This gap between expectation and reality can be tough to bridge, but it starts with understanding that people express affection in different ways. A metaphor that may resonate here is the idea of a plant and a cactus. Some people's love is like a plant that needs constant watering, frequent care, and reassurance. Others are like a cactus. They're steady, don't need as much attention, and even seem prickly, but they're resilient and deeply rooted. Just because they don't need or give constant attention doesn't mean they don't care. They simply thrive differently. Now, it's essential to understand that while giving them time to express themselves in their own way can work wonders, this doesn't always mean that the relationship is destined to last. Studies show that differing communication styles can lead to misunderstandings, and in some cases, partners may drift apart if they can't find a middle ground. Not everyone will be able to adapt fully, and that's okay. However, if you believe in the foundation of your connection, giving them space to show love in their way while gently sharing your needs can be transformative. Just remember, patience and understanding are key, but they also have limits. If you're constantly feeling unfulfilled despite your best efforts, it might be time to reevaluate. But that might not be the case for everyone. Because let's face it, if someone truly loves you, they'll often go out of their way to make sure you feel valued. They'll pay attention to the little things, remember the details, and show up in ways that speak directly to your heart. Most of the time, love is about making those small, everyday gestures that reassure us of our importance in their lives. So if you're not feeling that, it could mean something else is going on. Let's dive into the next reason. Number 2, they fear losing their independence. The second reason why someone might ignore you, even if they love you, is because they fear losing their independence. For some people, love and relationships bring an overwhelming sense of vulnerability, and they worry that being deeply committed means giving up parts of themselves. This fear can cause them to pull back, not because they don't care, but because they're afraid of losing their sense of self in the relationship. Imagine someone who has always valued their freedom, someone who has spent years building a life they love on their own terms. They're used to making decisions independently, pursuing their passions, and moving through life without feeling tethered to another person's expectations. Entering a relationship, especially one with someone they truly care about, can feel like venturing into unfamiliar territory. They may be afraid that getting too close means they'll have to compromise their personal goals or let go of the routines and solitude they cherish. An example from relationship forums highlights this well. One man shared his experience of feeling conflicted in his relationship. He loved his partner deeply, but found himself resisting her need for closeness, which made her feel rejected. He admitted that it wasn't her presence he resisted, but the idea that he would lose touch with his own identity. His need for independence wasn't about not loving her. It was about finding a way to be in the relationship without losing himself. Over time, he learned to communicate this fear with his partner, helping her understand that his pullback moments weren't about lack of care, but about protecting his sense of self. Think of independence as a precious treasure they've spent years protecting. They're standing at the edge, looking at the possibility of love, but fearful of diving in too deep and risking that treasure. It's as if they're saying, "I want to be with you, but I don't want to lose myself." This fear isn't uncommon, especially for individuals who've been single for a long time or who've had past experiences where they felt smothered or controlled. However, let's be honest here. If someone truly loves you, they will often be willing to make space for you in their life without feeling like they're sacrificing their independence. Love that's genuine will find a way to integrate the relationship into their world rather than pushing it away out of fear. Because most of the time, when someone cares deeply, they want to nurture the bond, finding ways to balance both closeness and individuality. But again, let me remind you, this journey shouldn't be about forcing them to change or hoping that they'll come around. It should be about you. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and as our Stoic friend Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Rather than fixating on their fear of commitment, focus on strengthening your own sense of self-worth. They must face their fears of losing independence on their own. You can't do it for them. Sometimes giving them the space to reconcile this fear allows them to come to terms with it, and it might inspire them to explore the relationship more openly. But remember, if they aren't willing to let down their walls, even a little, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a sign of their own internal struggle. So now, let's quickly move to the last reason why they might be ignoring you, even when they truly love you. Stick around, because after this, we're diving into that lingering fear, the one that whispers, "What if they're not interested anymore?" I know you don't want to miss that part. They're struggling with personal challenges. The third reason why someone might ignore you, even if they genuinely love you, is that they're dealing with personal challenges that have nothing to do with you. Life can be overwhelming, and sometimes when people face inner battles or external pressures, they become distant. Not because they want to push you away, but because they're struggling to keep themselves afloat. When someone's going through a rough time, even the most meaningful relationships can take a back seat. Imagine someone standing in the middle of a storm, trying to hold on while the winds of stress, self-doubt, or fear rage around them. When you're in survival mode, it's hard to focus on anything other than just getting through the day. For some people, expressing love during these times can feel like an added weight rather than a source of comfort, no matter how much they care. Instead of seeing their distance as rejection, consider it a reflection of what's happening within them, a storm they have to weather alone. An example from a real relationship forum brings this to life. One woman shared that her partner became distant when he lost his job. He stopped calling as often, seemed distracted, and barely spoke about his feelings. She began to worry that he was losing interest, but when they finally talked, he confessed that he'd been feeling ashamed and overwhelmed, trying to rebuild his confidence. His silence wasn't a lack of love, It was the result of his internal struggle. By understanding that his withdrawal was temporary, she was able to give him the space he needed to get through it without taking it personally. In relationships, it's common to interpret someone's distance as a statement about us, but sometimes they're just wrestling with their own demons. Think of their silence like a wave receding before it returns stronger. Sometimes they need to pull back, gather their strength, and find their footing before they can reconnect fully. Your patience and understanding can be a lighthouse in their storm, reminding them that support and love are waiting when they're ready. Of course, there's a balance to be struck here. While it's essential to be compassionate and give them space, it's also important to remember your worth. As Stoicism teaches, you can't control their journey, only your response to it. As Epictetus wisely said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In other words, while they may be dealing with their struggles, your focus should be on your own well-being. Be there if they reach out, but keep your life moving forward, finding strength in yourself. But here's a reminder. If someone truly loves you, they'll make an effort to share, even if only a little, what they're going through. They may not pour out every detail, but they'll give you a glimpse, a sign that you're still part of their world. If you find that they're consistently distant, without a hint of what's going on, it might be time to consider whether they're ready for a relationship. As challenging as it is, maintaining your self-worth and setting boundaries doesn't just protect you. It also allows them to face their struggles without the pressure of constant reassurance. So now we've covered the top reasons why they might be ignoring you, even if they love you. But let's talk about that nagging fear we all have. The fear that maybe, just maybe, they're not interested anymore. Let's dive into that possibility and see what it really means for you. But before we dive deep, if you're loving this video, please do me a favor, drop a "keep it up" in the comments. It really motivates us to keep bringing you content that empowers and inspires, and it helps more people discover these insights too. Thank you for the support. So now, let's move towards the heart of our video. We're going to dive into that difficult question. What if they don't really love you? What if their actions are showing a truth that their words aren't? It's tough to face, but understanding this possibility can give you the clarity and strength you need to protect your heart. Stick with me, because we're about to reveal signs and insights that will help you see things as they truly are and empower you to make the best choices for yourself. Sign 1. They're consistently unavailable when you need them. Folks, that first sign that screams maybe they're not truly invested is their consistent unavailability when you need them. Picture this. You've had a long day, you're feeling low, and all you want is a comforting word from the person you care about. But when you reach out, they're always too busy or don't respond at all. Maybe they say they're tired, tied up, or that they'll get back to you later, but later never comes. When someone is genuinely interested, they find a way to be there for you, even in the smallest ways. Constant unavailability, on the other hand, can be a sign that their priorities might not align with yours. Let's think about a common relationship scenario. You've made an effort to check in on them, support them, and be there in their tough times. But when the tables turn, they're nowhere to be found. This lack of reciprocity can leave you feeling undervalued and wondering where you truly stand. In relationships, it's not about being available every second, but showing up when it counts. When someone cares, they'll make the time. A true story from a relationship forum illustrates this perfectly. A woman shared that she often felt neglected by her partner, who seemed present only when he needed something from her. She'd supported him through challenges, only to find herself alone when she faced her own. Eventually, she realized that his unavailability wasn't due to being busy. It was a lack of genuine interest. Her story reminds us that being available is a reflection of commitment and respect, two cornerstones of any real relationship. But here's where Stoicism comes in, offering us strength. Rather than fixating on their lack of availability, focus on what you can control, your own resilience and self-worth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Instead of allowing their inconsistency to chip away at your confidence, let it be a reminder to cultivate inner strength. Recognize your own value and make choices that honor it. If they're not showing up, you don't have to keep waiting. Redirect that energy toward yourself. So if you find yourself feeling unimportant or neglected, take this as an opportunity to prioritize your well-being. Consider affirming this for yourself. Their unavailability does not define me. Write it down, say it out loud, and yes, drop it in the comments as a commitment to yourself. Remember, these lessons aren't meant to hurt you. They're here to make you stronger and more resilient. That's why we encourage you to share these affirmations in the comments, as a sign to us and yourself that these insights are building you up, revealing truths, and empowering you to stand strong without needing anyone's validation. So go ahead, let us see these little signs of your strength. Drop "their unavailability does not define me" in the comments to let us know you're on this journey with us, standing firm and powerful. Ultimately, someone who truly values you will be there, not just when it's easy, but when it matters. And if they're not, don't wait for them to see your worth. Recognize it in yourself. Let's keep going and explore the next sign that might reveal more about where you really stand. Sign 2. Their actions rarely match their words. Ah, the one that might hit hard. Folks, when their actions rarely match their words, it's one of the clearest signs that something is off. And if you've been there, you know how frustrating it can feel. They say they care, that you're important, that they're committed, but when it comes down to it, their actions tell a different story. They make promises to spend more time, to show up when you need them, to be there. But somehow, they always fall short. Words without action are empty, and over time, this inconsistency can start to wear you down, making you question your worth and even your own reality. Imagine someone who says, "You mean the world to me," but doesn't call when they say they will, or backs out of plans at the last minute. It's like building a bridge halfway across a river and then leaving you stranded. Each broken promise is a crack in the foundation, making it harder to trust and leaving you feeling alone in the relationship. It's as if they're giving you a taste of what love could feel like, but never really delivering on it. A story shared on a forum highlights this all too well. A man was in a long-distance relationship where his partner always talked about moving closer, making plans for a future together, and constantly reassured him of her love. Yet every time the opportunity came to take action, she found an excuse. Over time, he realized that her words were merely comforting promises, but her actions showed no real commitment. Eventually, he had to step back and see the situation for what it was. A relationship built on hope rather than reality. Think of words and actions like the roots and branches of a tree. Words are the branches. They reach out, give shade, and make you feel connected. But without roots, those branches won't survive long. Actions are the roots, grounding those promises and giving them strength to grow. When someone truly cares, their actions reinforce their words, creating a balance that makes you feel secure and valued. Without that alignment, you're left feeling unstable, like you're standing on shaky ground. Here's where Stoic wisdom can really help. Rather than holding on to their words alone, focus on the reality of their actions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." This quote reminds us to face things as they are, not as we wish them to be. If their actions are telling a different story, believe the truth in front of you and let go of the illusions that keep you hanging on. So if you're feeling torn between what they say and what they do, remember, words don't define me. Say it, write it, and yes, drop it in the comments to show your commitment to seeing reality clearly. This affirmation isn't just for you. It's for everyone here to know we're building a community of resilience where words only matter if they're backed up by action. Let this be your reminder that you deserve consistency, honesty, and someone who shows up with more than just words. If you're with us on this journey, drop "words don't define me" in the comments to let us know you're choosing truth over empty promises, standing strong, and embracing the power of self-worth. Let's keep going and uncover the next sign that might reveal even more about where you truly stand. Sign 3. They don't show interest in your life or goals. The third sign that might reveal their true intentions is this. They don't show genuine interest in your life or goals. If someone truly cares about you, they'll want to know what drives you, what excites you, and what you aspire to achieve. They'll ask questions, celebrate your wins, and support your dreams. But when someone only seems interested in their own world, rarely engaging with your ambitions, it could be a signal that they're not as invested as they claim. Imagine sharing something personal or exciting with them, a promotion you're aiming for, a passion project, or even a simple hobby you're exploring. Yet instead of enthusiasm, you get silence, a dismissive comment, or a quick change of topic. Over time, this lack of engagement can make you feel small, as if your dreams don't matter. In a healthy relationship, both partners are each other's biggest supporters. But if they're indifferent to what makes you come alive, it could mean they're only there for surface-level companionship. Consider a story shared in a relationship forum where a man noticed his partner never showed any interest in his career goals. While he often supported her aspirations, she didn't reciprocate, brushing off his ambitions as unimportant. He gradually realized that her lack of interest wasn't just a difference in personality, it showed a lack of depth in their connection. Eventually, he chose to step away, realizing that a fulfilling relationship requires mutual support and respect for each other's lives beyond the relationship. Think of interest and support as sunlight and water for a plant. Just as a plant needs both to grow, relationships need mutual encouragement and care to thrive. When someone genuinely loves you, they take joy in seeing you grow and evolve. They'll offer that sunlight by listening to your goals, and they'll provide the water by showing up, whether it's cheering you on or offering help. Without these, a relationship can become stifling, leaving one person feeling emotionally undernourished. In moments like these, Stoicism offers a powerful perspective. Rather than internalizing their lack of interest, focus on the passions that fulfill you. As Epictetus wisely said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." Your ambitions, dreams, and goals are a part of your essence. Don't let anyone make you feel like they're not worth pursuing. This is your life, and your path forward is yours to explore, with or without their encouragement. If you're feeling overlooked or unsupported, remind yourself of this. I don't need their approval. Say it, write it, and yes, drop it in the comments as a commitment to honor your own goals. This affirmation isn't just for you. It's a declaration to everyone here that your ambitions matter. Let it serve as a reminder that your dreams are worthy of love, attention, and commitment. Stand firm in knowing that you don't need someone else's validation to chase what makes you feel alive. And if you're with us on this journey, drop "I don't need their approval" in the comments to let us know that you're choosing self-respect over indifference, standing tall, and embracing the full value of your own aspirations. Avoiding future plans is like showing up to the construction site empty-handed, unwilling to invest time or effort into building a foundation. This lack of commitment leaves you with an incomplete structure, an uncertain and unstable relationship. In times like these, Stoicism offers us a powerful lesson. Rather than clinging to the hope that they'll change or come around, focus on the reality in front of you. As Seneca once said, "It's the power of the mind to be unconquerable." When someone avoids commitment, take it as a cue to reclaim your power, to protect your time and energy from being poured into a relationship that may not offer the future you deserve. If you find yourself constantly waiting for them to take that next step, remind yourself, "I rise above their drama." This affirmation is not just a mantra, it's a reminder to take control of your own happiness. Say it, write it, and yes, drop it in the comments to let us know that you're choosing self-worth over uncertainty. Stand firm in the belief that you deserve someone who's excited to plan a future with you, not someone who leaves you feeling like a temporary option. Drop "I rise above their drama" in the comments to show that you're committed to your own value, ready to move forward, and strong enough to seek a partnership where you're not left in doubt. Let's keep going and uncover the next sign that may reveal even more about where you stand. Sign 5. They don't make an effort to resolve conflicts. The fifth sign that someone may not truly be invested in the relationship is if they don't make any effort to resolve conflicts. Disagreements are natural in any relationship, and they're often opportunities for growth and understanding. When both partners are committed, they'll work through issues, communicate openly, and strive to find common ground. Let's keep moving forward and uncover the next sign that might reveal even more about where you truly stand. Sign 4. They avoid future plans or commitments. The fourth sign that they might not be fully invested in the relationship is if they avoid making future plans or commitments with you. When someone truly sees a future with you, they'll naturally include you in their plans, whether it's next month's weekend getaway, a family gathering, or even long-term goals like moving in together or planning trips. But when someone hesitates or constantly sidesteps any talk of the future, it can be a signal that they're unsure about their level of commitment, or that they're keeping their options open. Imagine you're excitedly discussing a trip you've always dreamed of taking together, or talking about a milestone like celebrating a big anniversary. Yet, instead of joining in on your excitement, they seem distant, dismissive, or find excuses to avoid the topic. Or perhaps they're all for short-term plans, but grow uncomfortable the moment you mention anything that involves commitment beyond the next few weeks. Over time, this pattern can leave you feeling insecure and questioning where the relationship is headed. An example from a relationship forum sheds light on this behavior. A woman shared that her partner would agree to last-minute outings, but would never commit to anything farther out than a few days. When she brought up meeting each other's families or planning a longer trip together, he would deflect, saying it was too soon or that he was not ready to think that far ahead. Eventually, She realized that his reluctance was a sign that he wasn't truly invested in a future with her, and she chose to move on, prioritizing her own clarity and peace of mind. Think of commitment as building a house together. When someone is genuinely interested in a shared future, they'll lay down bricks with you one by one toward creating something solid and lasting. But if they're avoiding difficult conversations, dismissing your feelings, or refusing to compromise, it's a clear indicator that they may not be as committed as they claim. Imagine this: you bring up a concern. Maybe you feel neglected, or perhaps there's an issue that's been bothering you for a while. Instead of listening and addressing the problem, they shrug it off, get defensive, or even turn the blame back onto you. Over time, this can make you feel unheard, undervalued, and even question if you're overreacting. In a healthy relationship, both partners should care enough to engage, apologize if necessary, and take steps to improve. But when someone doesn't show that effort, they're essentially choosing their comfort over the well-being of the relationship. A story shared online reveals how destructive this lack of effort can be. One man described his partner's habit of stonewalling him whenever he brought up a problem. She would refuse to talk, leave the room, or dismiss his concerns, making him feel isolated and emotionally abandoned. Eventually, he recognized that her unwillingness to engage in resolving issues was causing him deep emotional distress. He came to understand that a one-sided effort would never lead to a fulfilling relationship, and chose to prioritize his own peace over staying with someone unwilling to address their conflicts. Think of conflict resolution like tending a garden. Issues are like weeds that inevitably appear in a committed relationship. Both partners pick out those weeds together, nurturing the garden so it can flourish. But when one person refuses to participate, those weeds grow unchecked, eventually overtaking the garden and stifling any chance for true connection. Without a shared effort to resolve conflicts, the relationship becomes a place of resentment rather than growth. Stoicism can provide valuable insight here, urging us to focus on what we can control, ourselves, rather than pushing to resolve conflicts with someone unwilling to engage. We can take a step back and assess if this relationship is truly serving us. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If they're unwilling to meet you halfway, let that be a lesson in where to place your energy. If you find yourself constantly trying to solve conflicts alone, remind yourself, "I deserve peace." This affirmation isn't just a statement, it's a powerful reminder that you deserve a partner who respects your voice and values the relationship enough to work through issues together. Say it, write it, and yes, drop it in the comments as a commitment to honoring your own peace and boundaries. So, if you're with us on this journey, drop "I deserve peace" in the comments to let us know you're choosing self-respect over unresolved conflict, prioritizing peace, and embracing the strength to move forward without constant battles. Let's keep going and uncover the final sign, which may reveal even more about where you truly stand. Sign 6. They only reach out when it's convenient for them. So, folks, the last sign that might reveal their lack of genuine commitment is this: they only reach out when it's convenient for them. If you notice that they tend to appear in your life only when it suits their schedule, needs, or moods, it's a clear indication that they may not be fully invested in a balanced, meaningful relationship. True connection involves effort from both sides, not just when it's easy or comfortable. Imagine this scenario. You've gone out of your way to make time for them, support them, and prioritize the relationship. But when you're the one in need, Whether you're having a rough day, looking for advice, or just wanting to share a moment, they're suddenly unavailable or too busy. And then, just when you're starting to accept their distance, they reappear, acting like nothing happened. This inconsistency can leave you feeling used, undervalued, and questioning whether your relationship is genuinely mutual. A story shared online shows just how impactful this behavior can be. One person recounted how their partner would vanish for days without communication and only reach out when they needed emotional support or favors. While they initially made excuses for this behavior, hoping it was temporary, they eventually saw a pattern. Their partner's interest was only sparked when they wanted something, not out of a true desire to be close or supportive. Recognizing this helped them understand that a relationship should be about mutual care, not convenience. Think of connection like a two-way street. When someone truly cares, they're willing to travel that street regardless of time, circumstance, or convenience. They reach out to show support, interest, and care, not just because it benefits them. But when someone's contact is purely on their terms, it feels like you're just a rest stop in their journey, rather than a valued partner. Stoicism teaches us a valuable lesson here: to focus on what we can control, our response, our boundaries, and our self-worth. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of waiting for their attention, prioritize your own well-being. If their actions don't align with your needs, it's a reminder to place your energy where it's valued and respected. If you're feeling used or undervalued, let this affirmation guide you. I am better independent. Say it, write it, and yes, drop it in the comments to declare that you value yourself too much to accept being treated as an option. This isn't just about them, it's about reinforcing your own standards. So if you're with us on this journey, drop "I am better independent" in the comments to let us know that you're standing firm in your worth, prioritizing relationships where you're valued, and embracing the strength to thrive on your own terms. Let this final sign be a reminder that you deserve respect, consistency, and genuine commitment. To wrap it up, folks, remember that these signs aren't meant to bring you down, but to help you see your relationships clearly and make choices that honor your worth. When someone truly values you, their actions will show it consistently. They'll be there in good times and hard times. They'll make you feel seen, and they'll work through challenges with you. If any of these signs resonate, take it as a cue to refocus on your own growth, goals, and peace of mind. You deserve someone who's genuinely present, not just when it's easy, but when it truly matters. If you found these insights helpful, let us know how valuable this video was by dropping a number from 1 to 10 in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more empowering content, and share this with someone who could use a reminder of their worth. Stay strong, stay independent, and keep valuing yourself above all. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.